Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about something really important, and that is the transformational power of the planet Pluto. And even if you're not into astrology, I feel like this planet and what it's all about will have enormous meaning for everyone here on planet Earth. Now, this comes from my latest book, which is Pluto, Control, Power, Surrender, and Rebirth. And if you're interested in purchasing this book, which I think is the ultimate book on Pluto, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, and there is where you can purchase this book. It's actually on Amazon, but this will give you the guidance to find this book on Amazon through my website, galacticcenter.org. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this planet, because Pluto, it is about what I've discovered. It really is the most powerful energy of all. I find it so interesting that it used to be a planet and then astronomers have downgraded it to not being a planet, a planetoid, or whatever they have said. But it's almost symbolic as to what Pluto's energy is all about. And I find that Pluto's energy is about the need to be in control. And what happens is when we feel we have to control things, we actually become out of control. It's almost like an eating disorder. You know, people that feel like they can be in control because of the foods they eat, they're in control. But essentially, what happens is they become out of control and it ends up killing them if they don't get help. And that is the transformational power of Pluto. See, Pluto has a lot of relevance to addictions, because addictions, you think you're in control and you're not. And until you surrender, which is the key issue to issues around control and power, is that we always have to come to that point of surrender. And when you come to that point of surrender, that's when the sky opens, the world opens, because you finally have pretty much died to the ego and you're reborn. That's the whole message of Pluto, and especially even the 8th house. Everything you know about the 8th house really does apply to Pluto. Pluto is so extreme. And people that feel like they have to be in control, whether it comes through money, sex, or death. These are all 8th house variables. You see, we control people through these things. Control people through money. We do jobs we don't like in order to make money, but we feel like this is controlling us. And then religions control people by telling them, if you don't follow these rules, you're going to go to hell forever. I mean, that's pretty darn controlling. And of course, people, through their sexual awareness, their magnetism, they have effects on others, and it is very controlling. So, this is the power of Pluto. Pluto's all about how we manipulate others in reality, how we manipulate and control other people. But what we're here to discover through Pluto is by the surrender, letting it go, and letting the divine do the work. That's what we call surrender and rebirth. This is the power that Pluto has on us, and the 8th house. And I feel like so many people are caught up in the sense of having to be in control or control other people. Because you see, the ultimate is that To really, really be in control and to have power, to really have power, that is really what I'm trying to say. To have power means that to empower other people. That's what's true power. When you realize that through empowerment of others, that's true power, because that's connecting with your divine force. So what does this do? This is a rebirth. That's why Pluto is likened to the phoenix, which dies to the ashes but is transformed and reborn. It's also the whole symbology behind the whole process of the resurrection of Christ, because Christ died but was reborn. And that's where the power and empowerment came from, to empower the world, that this is the true issue of what we're all here to learn. We're all here to learn that we are the power of the divine. But it's not about controlling or manipulating other people. It's about empowering them. And this comes from the divine, which is truly unconditional love in the deepest, deepest sense of the word. That essence that we cannot imagine. But this really is what Pluto's about. Now, in Vedic astrology, I find it so interesting that they don't use the outer planets. Why? Because they're not visible to our eyes. But their effects are real. They affect the generations. They affect the masses. And how do they do so? Through our subconscious mind. This is not the physical. This is subconscious. It has true and real effects on us. Yes. So what I want you to know is it affects the levels of consciousness, the mass consciousness. Therefore, these outer planets have a major effect on world events and what's going on in the world, what the awareness is on a mass level, and it affects us in our subconscious mind. Yes, this does not affect our physical being, that is the makeup in our astrological chart. So therefore it affects our generations and our connectedness with the people that are born with their outer planets and the same signs. But I just wanted to bring out how relevant this planet is in terms of our spiritual development, of letting go of the ego and pretty much letting go and let God. That's what it's truly about. That's what surrender's about. And that's what Pluto is about. And when we learn this, and many of us learn it the hard way, because nobody wants to let go of control and power when they have it. But when it starts to destroy one, that's when we have to learn to let it go. And when we do, that's the transformation that takes us to the highest and the next level of our spirituality and our development as human beings. This is the incredible, enormous, transformational power of Pluto. And everyone should want to know where Pluto is in their chart. In my book on Pluto, I go through Pluto being in all the signs, Pluto being in the houses, what happens when it transits your planets in your chart. Because when Pluto does transit a planet in your chart, you will go through a major, monumental, transformational change. Always. And you will feel like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. And I guarantee you, 2 years from that point in time, you'll look back and you'll say, thank God that happened, because I couldn't be who I am today. What happens with Pluto is it forces you to let go of anything that is not growth producing in your life. At the time, you think you need it. At the time, you're addicted to it. You have to have it. You cannot stand for it to be taken away. But when it is, then you realize who you really are. That may be people, friends, relationships. It can even be things in our life. Addictions. That's the energy of Pluto. When you feel like you have to have something at all cost, it's an addiction, especially when it is destructive. So if you really want to better understand yourself and what your addictions are, or what your life is, what you need to change and transform, become aware of, read my book on Pluto. You're going to see the world in a different light. So before I close, I want to remind everyone to go to my website, sign up for my free newsletter, because in that newsletter you will get all of my predictions delivered to your email address. While you're there, check out my new jewelry line. I have some amazing new things that you'll be interested in, especially I have all of the zodiac signs that you can wear that have on this beautiful pendant. It has the stars in your sign and your gemstone. I'm wearing Gemini because that's my rising sign in Vedic astrology. So I have a lot of new pieces. Check it out all on galacticcenter.org. And always remember, if you would like to study Vedic astrology with me, go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.